There was an old woman who lived in a village near Karoli. It's a really beautiful story. And her only source of income was selling milk from her herd of a small herd of cows that she had. And every day, this very poor, humble lady, she would go to Karoli, and on the way, to sell her milk. And on the way, she would thin the milk with water from a creek that she had to cross. And I think they still do this. So you can sell more milk. They put a little water in there, and you can sell more milk. They even do that today. And so she would thin the milk with water from a creek. Then in Karoli, before going to the market, she would offer a cup of milk to Madan Mohan by going to the temple. She had a special cup. She'd put the milk in there, and she'd give it to the pujari, and the pujari would offer it to Madan Mohan. This was her seva. This was her life and soul, really. Now, one time it's described, as she was thinning the milk with the creek water, a little fish swam in unnoticed into the pot, and from there later into the cup of milk, which she gave to Madan Mohan's pujari to offer the Lord. So he's offering a cup of milk with a little fish inside. And as the pujari was about to make that offering, he noticed the tiny fish, and he became very angry. And he rejected the milk, scolded the woman, and he actually went so far as to forbid her to make any more offerings to the deities. This is a great aparat you have committed, although it was done unknowingly. And the poor old woman, she was heartbroken that her only service to Madan Mohan had been taken away from her. So she returned home, and she cried and she cried and she cried, and she fasted. And she continued praying to the Lord for forgiveness. She was determined, as described, to somehow regain her service to the Lord. So she prayed to Madan Mohan for guidance, hoping that somehow she would be rectified and regain his favor. So Madan Mohan took pity on this old woman. Obviously her bhakti was very deep, it was very pure. When she prayed to Krishna, he lent an ear, he really listened, and he reciprocated. So it's really interesting that he took the form, Madan Mohan, took the form of a young mendicant, a young sadhu. And one evening he came to her village, and he came to her home, her hut, humble dwelling, and he knocked on the door. It was actually quite late at night, I was reading. And when she answered the door, she saw this young, handsome boy, and she was surprised. She said, "Young man, what do you want?" She said, where have you come from? I have not seen you in these parts before. So the little mendicant, he said, Mother, I live in Vrindavan, and I have come to take darshan of our Madan Mohan. So that just captured her heart. And then he said, please, it's late and the storm is coming. Allow me to stay here tonight, and tomorrow I will go to Karoli and see my beloved Lord. So she felt very compelled to accommodate the young sadhu, the mendicant. So she said to him, all right, come in. My house is yours. And as he came in, she said, but you know how they do in India. Tell me, what can I offer you to eat? So the young boy, he said, Mother, I only drink milk. If you can offer me a little milk, I'll be happy with that. But the only milk that the old woman had was the same cup in which the fish had previously been in, because obviously they took the fish out. But that milk, had been quote unquote contaminated by the fish. So she said, I can't let me go out and milk a cow. So she started to go out the door, and the young boy said, no, mother, wait. Give me what you have now. But she explained it. Previously there was a fish in this milk. So the young boy said, okay, in the future, you please carefully observe your milk while diluting it in the creek. Somehow he knew. But for now, I'm too hungry to wait. Please give me that cup of milk as it is. So unable to change this young boy's mind, the old woman gave him the milk. And then that young mendicant, he drank it with great satisfaction. And he said, Mother, you know, that milk was very tasty. It's the best milk I've ever drunk. And he said, now I'm feeling sleepy, so I'm going to take rest. And he went over and took rest on a small cot. But the old woman, she was still distressed by her apparent earlier offense to Madan Mohan. So she stayed awake most of the night. And when it became very chilly, sometime after midnight, she took her only quilt, her only blanket, an old quilt it's described, and she went and she covered the young boy with the quilt. She went back to her room, and finally she fell asleep. And as she drifted off, she dreamt of Madan Mohan. And in that dream, the Lord smiled and he said, quote, my dear devotee, why are you still fasting, thinking that I have refused your milk? Don't you know that I have come to your house today and taken milk directly from your hands? Please continue with your service. Bring me a cup of milk every day. The pujari will not object any further. Now get up and break your fast.